Yeah, so basically, I'm gonna do a reaction video to... Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
I don't give a fuck. I'm actually going to a rave in a couple of hours.
Two candidates for the presidency of the most powerful nation on
we're gonna do a live reaction to this one.
Other in an epic debate. One showed up armed with facts and data. The other showed up. Today we'll be analyzing and fact-checking 22 claims made by the former President Donald Trump during the presidential debate. So hold on to your butts, smash that like button, and let's go.
I rebuilt our entire military. Wrong.
Trump did marginally increase defense spending, most of which went to cover our military's existing operating costs. But he absolutely didn't entirely rebuild it, nor did he even increase spending by nearly as much as Obama did in his first term, or even Biden did in his.
She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. Wrong.
During Trump's final year in office, he negotiated an agreement with the terrorist organization known as the Taliban, while excluding the legitimate Afghan government, to reduce US troop levels from 12,500 to only 2,500, while freeing 5,000 terrorists in a prisoner exchange. And he signed an agreement to withdraw all US troops by May 1st, 2021 in exchange for a promise from the Taliban to not use Afghanistan as a base for terrorist attacks. But nice try trying to pin that on Harris.
I rebuilt our entire military. She gave it to Afghanistan.
Introducing the new #1 military of the world, Taliban Sino!
We wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it.
While the US did leave some military equipment behind for the Afghan military, which was then seized by the Taliban, this $85 billion number is absolutely preposterous.
$85 billion.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
$82.9 billion was the total amount that the US appropriated for the Afghan Security Fund since 2001. Of that, $75 billion was dispersed. Over half of that was for things like salaries for members of the Afghan army in addition to training and infrastructure. Only some was equipment, much of which was used up in the fighting over the last 20 years. Ultimately, the Taliban acquired about $7 billion worth of equipment, mostly things like guns, night vision goggles, Humvees, and a few helicopters. Most of the US military hardware was moved, destroyed, or left inoperable when we pulled out, and much of the rest will be useless soon without the required maintenance and tools which the Taliban lack. None of it was state-of-the-art technology. It's not like we were handing them keys to a fleet of F-35 fighter jets.
I got more votes than any president, sitting president, in history by far.
So, is that why you lost then? The fact that he's still pushing the stolen election narrative
All right, I feel like I'm obligated to chime in here, so...
is just mind-boggling at this point. He is a diabolical clown, and it would be funny if it wasn't terrifying.
No judge looked at it.
And said
they said we didn't have standing. That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The president of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost.
The majority of lawsuits that he's talking about weren't rejected because he lacked legal standing. They were rejected because there was zero evidence of voter fraud. Trump's legal team filed 60 lawsuits alleging voter fraud, and quite a few of them actually went to trial. And every single one of them found zero evidence of voter fraud. Meanwhile, Trump's own departments of Justice, Defense, Homeland Security, the Director of National Intelligence, the FBI, NSA, and CISA all put out a joint statement, both before and after the election, stating that the November 3rd election was the most secure in American history. And this wasn't a left-wing conspiracy. These were Trump-appointed Republican judges who made that ruling. One of his own nominees for the federal appeals court stated, "Calling an election unfair does not make it so. Charges require specific allegations and then proof. We have neither." But Trump is no stranger to conspiracy theories, regularly peddling debunked nonsense, even claims that he knows are BS. Like,
her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay.
this is absolute nonsense. There is not a single state that allows infanticide, nor a single Democratic Congress member who advocates for it. About 99% of all abortions happen in the first 20 weeks, most in the first trimester, long 20 weeks.
Yeah, so I basically think that what he's saying is that most abortions don't even happen after like a couple months or a few months. So like 7, 8, or 9 month abortions just doesn't really happen like at all. If you look at this chart, you know, if you want to divide 30 weeks by 4 just to see what 0.01% is, that's 7.5 weeks, and that's like 2 months. So after 2 months, there's only 0.01% of pregnancies. You can quote the CDC on that.
Most in the first trimester, long before the fetus is viable. Anything after 24 weeks is illegal in almost every state, including California, though some states make exceptions for the health or life of the mother. But by unfairly painting his opponents as baby killers, Trump is poisoning the well with his lies.
Biden doesn't go after people because supposedly China paid him millions of dollars. He's afraid to do it between him and his son. Why is he? Why did he get $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife?
There have been extensive investigations into this, and there is no significant evidence to suggest that Hunter Biden directly received or profited from the $3.5 million wire transfer.
Have you seen any evidence that President Biden...
So, he didn't benefit from a wire transfer, but I'm pretty sure Hunter Biden is living it up in extravagant hotels and shit with a crazy expensive lifestyle. So, pretty sure that these fucking politicians and shit are just bought out, and a bunch of lies and deception going on. So, hopefully we can enjoy the rest of this video.
has committed high crimes and misdemeanors?
No, I don't see any evidence of that at all. I think before you begin an impeachment inquiry, you ought to have some evidence, some inclination that there's been wrongdoing, and so far there's nothing of that nature that's been provided.
So this accusation remains unsubstantiated.
Our elections are bad, and a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying.
Yeah, I don't think Trump talks enough about illegal immigration. But what he's saying about elections being bad, I'm going to have to totally agree with that. I mean, you got popular vote and electoral college, both of which are flawed, I guess. You can't really take a 50-50 popular vote and make a good outcome out of 50-50 like that.
Trying to get them to vote.
Matter of principle, and I'll tell you,
liar.
Not only is it a crime for a non-citizen to register to vote in all state and federal elections, there's also zero evidence.
Trump is basically also saying that they want to give illegals mortgages.
that anyone is going out there and attempting to register undocumented migrants to vote.
And when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21.
21 million immigrants a month! That's almost the entire population of Australia flooding into the US every single month. At that rate, the US population.
Alright, so at this point into the video, I think that this guy is basically alleging a bunch of lies coming from Trump, and he's sort of trying to debunk the numbers behind his statements. So maybe Trump just accidentally claimed 2 million when he should have claimed, 2,000 or 200,000. I don't know.
Population would double in size in just 15 months. At that rate, the entire population of the world would have relocated into the US in just 30 years. Yeah, this is pure and utter tripe.
Do you know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down? You know why? Because they've taken their criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our country. We'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
There's no way. There is no way. Does he actually think that Venezuela is using the US as a prison colony? How would that even work? The Venezuelan prison guards just get tired one day and ship everyone off to the US, and customs just goes, yeah, sure. Bring them on in, we'll take anyone. Joe's orders. Venezuela's crime rates declined due to internal economic circumstances, not because criminals are being exported to the US.
This guy will say anything. Nasty guy.
Now I've got 12 more for you, but first I have a super small request. If you're enjoying this video, can you hit that like button for me?
Yeah, ditto. If you're liking this video, make sure you click like. This has been a reaction to Trump lies 22 times in 14 minutes. Make sure you watch the full video by clicking the link in the description. Peace.